What's up, guys? This is the Blueberries Podcast. I'm Deck,
DG.
and we just had a pretty good game. We haven't been here since the Chargers game, though, and I'm gonna be really quick on that.
Yeah.
Chargers game was
Let me set up real quick, dog. Let me get right. Let me tap in. But
Chargers game was pretty bad, obviously, pretty mud. My prediction for that game was so off of what it was. I think we don't need to talk too much on it. The whole Steeler Nation's talked about it. The defense was subpar, like in the middle. It wasn't actually at times. I thought we were playing pretty good. Offensively, we had the worst game from Aaron Rodgers we've ever seen in the Steelers uni, at least. Honestly, it might be one of his worst performances, period. And then, we just had a bad offensive performance other than Jalen Warren against the Chargers. And then maybe a couple other. But that's all I'm going to say about the Chargers. And we could carry on to today when you want to say something about the Chargers.
I'm not going to talk about the Chargers too much. Defense, pretty much everything we talked about. You know, Chargers, they took advantage of being at home, making the big plays, opportunistic plays. Like I said, it's like we either get 50 turnovers or we get 0. And that was one of the games where we didn't get no turnovers. Eventually, our defense didn't play bad, but once our offense couldn't get going, obviously they couldn't shoulder all the weight. That's all I'll say on that game. And we'll go right into who we played, the Bengals.
Yeah.
Starting off with that game, little rundown. I think it wasn't smooth early going. We had the turnovers that blew the game wide open for us, but before that, there were some things I like. I liked our first opening drive. We came out, punched them in the mouth. Defense gives us a touchdown. After that, our defense played pretty good the rest of the first half. I think Herbig looked good if we're talking about individuals. Patrick Queen, we didn't hear his name too much, but I think that's because he played a pretty solid game. I'm actually impressed with Duggar, the guy we got from the Patriots. I think he's been playing good ball. And the guy I want to highlight on our defense is Pierre. I think Pierre is the guy he's starting. I know it's only 2 games, right? But he's starting to look like Pierre when he first
Pickett days. When we first had Pickett.
Yeah, because it's a confidence thing. Yeah.
Was that a thing? Yeah, that was.
I don't know if that was a thing or not, but I do know.
For a little bit. He had some crazy
Right
games.
now, he looked like he's in his own right now. And, at the end of the day, I'm more comfortable with him being there right now than I am with Darius Slay, even if he gets healthy. So I'm actually pretty happy with our DB room. I think it's shaping up better than what it was early in the season. I remember at one point when Jabril Peppers was our second safety. Now we got Deshaun Elliott, Duggar, and then you have Ramsey back there now. So I think our back end is shaping up a little bit better than what I thought it would to this point, honestly. But yeah, that's my overview of the game before we really dive into it.
Yeah, I'll start on the other side of the ball for my overview. I think offensively, there was times where it was shaky, but it seemed like we were good, possessive-wise. You know what I mean? Like time management. Not even time management. Possession-wise. Sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. We possessed the ball well. We were getting timely first downs. I ain't gonna lie, though. It looked a lot better and more fluid with Mason Rudolph in there. I'm not going to sit here and say that we shouldn't start AR when he gets healthy, which Darius just told me. I think he has a fractured wrist, possibly?
Yeah, fractured bone in his wrist or something.
Yeah. So, I was all in. Me and my dad just talked about this, although he defended me. Actually, the Chargers game, he didn't defend me. Me and him collided a bit because I said that Aaron had enough time on a lot of those to play better, throw less high balls and whatnot. And my dad just
he had
no time. Yeah, my dad he had no time, and I'm like, bro, he had a bad game. Let's just admit it. And he said, oh yeah, he didn't have a good game because of luck. Nah, bro, that was just horrible.
I think 2 things can be true. I think Aaron, when he had opportunities to make a throw, he didn't. And then there's also times where you could tell he was more sped up because of the pressures that was coming. But overall, you expect a guy like that to hang in there and make the throws he got to make, especially when DK has 5 yards of separation on someone. And like Deck was saying, there was a lot of balls that were just too high. Like it was like, dude, he's wide open. Just even even if you throw it too low, at that point it's better than you throwing it high. It's less risk of a turnover or whatever the case. Like just get dudes the ball. You know, I feel like that was one game against the Chargers where he just wasn't delivering the ball accurately how he usually does. So I agree. I don't think he had the best game. So
yeah, and that was to go back to the Chargers, but it kind of goes into this game. My view is like, okay, I wasn't expecting the most, but I wasn't expecting as bad as. And I can't sit here and say I have photographic memory and I know exactly each play Aaron played. I know his stats weren't like absurd, but one thing I do hate about the guy right now, and hate's a strong word. It irks me a bit, and just like with the Chargers, and he shut it up pretty quick when he started doing stuff on his own account. I hate seeing 3rd and outs with him yelling at the top of his lungs for one reason. If Brady does it and Aaron back in the day does it, I love it because you're trying to get your team right. But the thing is, I see a lot of him not being able to find people open rather than people just not getting open at all and him yelling. Like, and some of the time I get it. He definitely deserves a little bit more separation from those guys, mostly. But he has to force it out quick because he's not mobile. And then he cries when he don't get a play every time. And that's what he did this game. And then when Mason got in, we kept getting first downs. I didn't see no yelling. And it's just sometimes that backup guy is almost like their level-headedness and their lack of pride and ego, at least in the moment. I'm not saying they don't have pride and ego. We all should to an extent. It's just Mason went out there and just started balling, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you could say about Mason is he looked comfortable back there.
He was a system guy.
He is a bona fide backup, and when I say he's a fringe backup, but could start on some teams right now, in my opinion.
For sure.
He's that.
I wanted him to start this year for us before we got him.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not. It's not something I'm mad at. Honestly, I did want to see Will Howard. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew we was going to throw in a guy that has the experience and everything. But just me being that greedy fan and wanting to see what the future might bring, I wanted to see Will Howard. There's part of me that still wants to see him, even though I thought Mason Rudolph. I shit on him. Excuse my language. I talked a little bad. Well, not bad when Aaron went down. I was like, oh, here we go. They're about to bring in Mason Rudolph, the guy that we already know what he brings to the table. But I forgot one thing he does bring to the table is this good experience, and he didn't put the ball in harm's way. He took what the defense give him, and one thing I do like about Mason is he's not scared to take a shot. And when you got a guy like that that's not scared to take a shot, it allows you to be able to do what you do on the run game. Let me shout out Gainwell, man. I'm so I don't know how you feel now, what your stance is now about it, but I love our running back situation right now. I like our 1-2. I think Gainwell, honestly, it's hard because Jalen Warren, he does so much crazy things, but there's times where I feel like we need to ride Gainwell more because he's a different type of runner than what Warren is. And don't get it wrong, Warren broke that big run today, and Warren's Warren. He's gonna run hard. He's going to hit the hole. I just think Gainwell he's a difficult back to. He's very subtle with his movements. So you might think but he's also capable of jamming it in there and doing similar things to what Warren does. But he does, bro. Honestly, I ain't want to take it to that extent because Le'Veon was Le'Veon, but he does similar movements, just the subtleness of he'll do a little pause that he'll let his blockers develop. He's just a good runner, bro.
This is our best running back room since Le'Veon and D'Angelo Williams.
100%.
In terms of, I could give this guy the ball and he's going to do something wicked. I could give this guy the ball and he's going to do something wicked. And also, I'm going to throw in there, KJ's look pretty good. Not saying it's over the top, but he's playing like he did in college. He's hard, tough-nosed, and he kind of reminds me, I hate always bringing up Lev Bell. That's who we are, though. We're Steelers fans. His big body, his presence reminds me of the first-year Lev where it wasn't jumping off the page. We weren't like, oh, we got a steal or nothing. We were just like, oh, this is cool. We got a bigger guy running the ball. Of course, he got more playing time. Yeah. But I think his second-year jump is going to be pretty crazy. So
yeah, I'm starting to see
our room is just stacked.
Yeah, because you know what? I think one thing he's doing now that you could tell is probably an adjustment thing just to adjust from the NFL. But early in a preseason when he was getting the ball, even early in the season, he was trying to balance everything. Now you can see him, he understands that, especially in the AFC North, getting those tough yards is more important than trying to break the big play all the time, man. I think
his speed can be used up. Being under a Jalen Warren is crazy because you realize north and south, you go faster when you really put your foot.
You do.
You know?
Yeah,
He's a great guy to learn from when it comes to putting your foot in the ground and just getting them yards.
Yeah. Bottom line, we're very comfortable in that room.
Very. Run block has been
I
great
want to
too
apologize
for
for my take on Roman Wilson last week because you know what, like I know what you're saying. Like there's an athletic presence that he brings that you're like. That's what makes you hopeful. Like, there's his certain movements. Like, when he scored that touchdown, it was a light touchdown, right? What I want to start seeing from him, bro, stop doing this stuff in garbage time, bro. Like, if you even make a couple of these plays in situations that actually matter, that's where you give yourself leverage. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
big play when it was like,
who was that?
6 to 7, right? I thought he did.
Oh no, he had a catch immediately as soon as Mason Rudolph came in the game. He got a catch on the sideline. So I don't know if that's I don't know, but you know what? I think there might be something there. It's still too early to tell. I do want to walk back.
It definitely. I'm still on hold from actually saying there definitely is, but I think there is.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
I get hype when he gets the ball. It's like that's the feeling that I shared last week. Like I get butterflies. In not a weird way, but like I'm like, okay, this is something like just feels new. It's almost like having a quarterback that's new. That's kind of what I'm getting into eventually too. But.
So all right. I feel like we always talk about the game as a whole, which is cool and everything, right? But what's something that you look at and you're like, we need to get better at this, or we need to change that. Like, what's something you see with the Steelers team that you're just like, this needs to change, or we need to get better here?
Honestly, it's gonna go back to last week, but I want to make it something less broad because if I say coaching and firing people, it's just not realistic. We could talk about that all day.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I'd say to change with this Steeler team is something that's going on at a high school level, college level is the mindset as much as it's cliche. And this could be a coaching mindset as well. Like today when we got up, it never was really in our hands, but there was a few times where like our D started breaking a little bit again. Now, towards the end, it really was just getting crazy though because of turnovers. But I don't know. I would have to think harder about that because there's a lot of things I would change. But
yeah,
that's the only thing. And that's just being a fan. You have more analytical thinking, and also you have more bias in a bad way. Sometimes you're like, no, let me, restart the team, which I know I couldn't. I don't know enough, but I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not even trying to go against what you just did there because that's a way better way at times to approach things. I will say I'm going to quickly spur off that I think the O-line run game was good. Like they run block pretty well. Our receivers looked a little bit more fluid today. Like they started DK off early, tried to get him hot. He still isn't worth the money right now, but I think, give him some more time. I'm going to try to be patient. Darnell Washington is my favorite offensive Steeler right now, by far, blocking, passing the ball, or getting the ball. I'm going to get defensively. We should do what you just did, though. My bad.
No, but you're good, bro.
I'm going to go to defensively right quick, because if not, I might forget. Similar to you, Pierre playing great. Eccles also, like, Jalen Ramsey, I stand by him 100%. I seen the video. He got spit on, bro. I don't like how people like Jamar Chase will lie in the presser and say, I didn't spit on nobody. Yeah, he's not just zip your lips, bro.
He's not trying to get the foul out of this.
Nah. Yeah, and I get it, but just zip your lips. Like, it's just like law situations, right? Like, if you don't talk, then, let everything else carry out. Like, if he says he didn't spit and there's a video of him spitting, that's a flaw in his character, bro. I would just be quiet. Nonetheless, because the last time when Jalen Hurts spit on the ground, Dak Prescott spit on the ground, they didn't get at him for it. That was more deliberate. But nonetheless, Jalen Ramsey was playing a really good game. I think free safety is his next 5-year plan, and I think he could be one of the better free safeties in the game each year. He's playing wonderful at that position, in my opinion. Duggar, yes, he surprised me. He surprised me with the pick six because I don't see him as that guy, but he's a hard-hitting safety. Obviously, once we get Deshaun back, it'll be Deshaun and Jalen. But I like our depth at safety and corner right now because
and that's where I was getting at.
We're about to get at do we just sign that's supposed to be like a top guy?
Corey Trice.
No, but I messed with Corey Trice.
But that's what I mean. We got a lot.
Who's the guy we just got to practice? Like
Asante Samuel.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like one of the better.
He's only 26, bro. Listen, Asante Samuel.
When we get him, it's over.
Asante Samuel y'all do realize Asante Samuel was one of the best man-to-man quarters just 2 years ago. It wasn't until he got his spine surgery where people wrote him off, because that obviously that's a big surgery, right? But if he could come back and even be 75, bro, 75 to 80% of what he was, we got a shutdown corner. He's better than JPJ, and this is not a slack to JPJ. You're a great corner. It's just like he was already proven for years before he dealt with this injury. Like, I was so surprised. I didn't even understand why he wasn't signed until I learned about him getting surgery on his spine. I was like, okay, teams are just passing off of that. But he's a baller. So we got the depth there, right? It's for me, when I look at this team, I think we need to find better ways of getting our team offensively into a rhythm faster than what we do. And what I mean by that is just like, I don't know what I mean by that, honestly. It's just like there's part of it's just a lot. It's hard.
I just spit my bad.
No, you're good.
That's part of my mentality thing is what I'm getting at, though. We don't stay on the gas on either side of the ball. Just in our heads, it doesn't look like.
But you know what? I think sometimes, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. We don't. But I think that stems from a place of that's not our identity, because we're not, as much as we want to think we are, we're not a dominant defense in terms of.
But we're 28th, right?
We'll let you. We're dominant in terms of we have ways we can get turnovers and touchdowns, defensive touchdowns, whatever the case, right? But we're not dominant in terms of like getting 3-and-outs, getting stops, and that's just who we are, man. So it's hard to put teams away when you do have a lead, and our approach is already conservative, right? So when you get in a situation where you're up and you're playing with a lead, we get even more conservative. So it's like you're already conservative with the base defense anyways, but now you get super conservative, man. It's like there's no.
That's exactly what that's my view. Not to cut you off, we're too conservative. Mm-hmm. I'll give you my spill right quick, like on what we really need to change. Not this year. I like Aaron, I really do, and hopefully Will is this guy. We need like how the Giants have Jackson Dart right now. The most important position in football, or any sport for that matter, is the quarterback position. It's not necessarily just him, but since it's so important, or him as in like that position, we need that spark. But the coaches have to allow that spark to be the spark. And like we've said, he's conservative, Tomlin himself, in the defense. We don't allow people to be like Aaron probably could still be throwing for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns a game. And what I'll say is I'm watching our game. Obviously, I'm pleased enough. Like, we got a dub against the Bengals, division rival. We already lost to them early in the season. We needed that one. You can't lose twice in the division to the same team. Next game comes on my TV. Bills are up 40, or not up 44, but they got 44 points on the board, and it's not even the fourth quarter, I don't think. Or maybe it was.
Against a good Tampa Bay defense, who they were down Keon Coleman. They didn't have a quote unquote top wide receiver. They're still putting up 40 points though. That is frustrating, because it's like
we'll never be that team.
You know what? I don't want to give too back. We are putting up more points than what we. I mean, I could think of 6 games this year where we put up 30 plus, right? And that was unheard of.
It's still kind of quiet though.
But and I was gonna say, when we do put up 30, it's usually because we have a defensive touchdown or a couple of defensive turnovers that put you in position to get 30. But I guess that is continuity, right? But it's not long-term stability when it comes to a team, because you're just not going to do that every week. Right?
No, we don't accidentally win. We accidentally put up a game where I'm comfortable on the couch. That's the problem. The defensive touchdown shouldn't be while I'm sitting on the couch like, oh, okay, this is cool. I could hang some Christmas lights while this is on. No, we never have those games.
We had Big Ben, and I know it's always going in the past, but you always had to, at least I did. I can't speak for everybody, right? But there was always a comfortability with me with our offense where it was like, okay, we're down 14 against whoever, but you know what? We got Big Ben, and we got Martavis Bryant, and we got AB. We still in the game. Yeah. It's a much better feeling knowing you have an offense that can compete with anyone than having a decent offense and a decent defense, and you don't know what they're going to bring from week to week. It's just like it's like going back to a girlfriend or a boyfriend that's just cheated on you multiple times and said they're going to do better. You just don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like if you keep putting yourself in that situation,
I was going to say, it's like
eventually
they gaslight us.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Bro,
so man.
Man, I'm not trying to cut off again, but bro, this is something that doesn't sit well with me. See, even saying a decent defense, I always say that like good, and it's like we are the highest paid. We say this all the time on this channel, but this is troubling. We're the 28th defense in the league right now overall. Yeah. Big Ben, the reason I be hating on him sometimes only because people will bring up, oh, sometimes he did it without a defense. He had a top 15 defense his entire career. Look it up. Look up the stats. He always had a top 15 defense. Even those years where we were like, dang, you know, Artie Burns is living up to his name. Like, he's getting dusted every play. Nah, that was a top 15 defense. Right now, we should have a top 1 defense. Aaron Rodgers' old self should be able to come out rested and chilling because we should be getting the ball back for him. Easy money. We're not. Like, 28th in the defense or in the league when you're number 1, that's what really needs to change. You got to fire Terrell. And honestly, you probably got to get, you got to get Tomlin up out of here. He's a defensive coach,
I'm
right?
With,
like, what, bro? 28th?
Yeah, no,
that's nuts.
I know we're talking about defense right
Bottom
now.
4, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is crazy because when you put that much into the defense and you're saying like this is
they just perform well.
And when you try to validate your reasons for spending that much money on their defense though, and they're 28th, it's almost a slap in the face because your fan base is telling you we need an offense, right? Put money into your offense, but you disregard it, and we still at the 28th.
We still suck.
So it's like, that gets frustrating. It feels like a slap in the face sometimes. But I'll say, man, I know this is gonna be a reach to a lot of people because of the position we're in right now. But honestly, like I think I am through with the A-Rod experience, man. Like when I say that, it's like there's nothing more that I could see that he could give us that will put us at a top level. Because it's like, yes, he can still throw the ball, but you gotta play so perfect around him. Your line gotta play so perfect. It's a lot of different dynamics that gotta happen in order for us to click with a guy like A-Rod. Not because he's not capable, not because he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback, just because he's older now, And yeah, he does lose mobility. And you know what? How I want to say, it's just like it's hard to see a future when you see someone that's just so past tense, if that makes sense. Like, it's just hard to see. I mean,
we got promised 1 year, right? So we thought this was just like the gun anyway, and it's been kind of chill. He's had good stats, but not like you're saying, like jumping off the page.
It's the same position though, right? And if I'm being honest, right, we had Reds last year. We was 10-3, y'all.
No, I was just gonna say that's the reason I'm not with the Aaron stuff right now and that's why I wouldn't want to sign him again, even though in the past I said I would. And it's not just because he came off a bad game and then he got hurt this game. I promise. It's really in the back of my head. I'm saying, even with Mason coming in today, we're 10-7 with him. We're 10-7
he looks
without
fresher,
him,
man.
right?
And it's like,
don't you feel like that? We're 10-7 with him or without him.
Yeah.
Why care about who's putting on that jersey and?
Yeah, I mean, I could look at Rudolph and it's like, at least with Rudolph, there's a fresher feel. Like, in my opinion, like it's like there's still nothing that says that Mason Rudolph couldn't be our future quarterback. There's nothing that really says that. As much as what I said earlier, it's like, yeah, we've seen what we get from him. That guy, we won straight 4 games. He took us to the playoff game, and we almost came back and beat the Bills. You know what I mean? So
if anything, bro.
At the same time, it's like, imagine if that dude did have a full offseason, first team reps, a full preseason, first team reps, and a full regular season. We don't know how good he would be, right? But that's not me saying I think he's the guy. That's just like, at this point, I would rather us finish out with a guy like Rudolph and have enough time period to see. And then it's like, okay, now if he's not that guy, okay, you're back up to, now let's see what Will Howard got. But with A-Rod, man, it's like, it is starting to frustrate me the way he blames. Like,
dude.
Like, they show a close-up on his face every time he does it. On a third down where the case is, he's screaming.
He's like, no.
and I tell myself all the time, like, what could he possibly be yelling at? Like, the throw was terrible, or...
the decision-making is really bad.
Yeah, it's like, okay, listen, bro, like, you're not always in the right. And if you're always that person that's going to blame instead of looking in the mirror sometimes, like, it's different when it's like a 50-50 type deal. But when I'm seeing you after every time we get off on the field on offense, you're quick to snap out on someone, wherever the case is. It's like, bro, come on, dude. Like, you ain't even that to no more to be acting like that. But you know what? I'm not going to bash A-Rod. I think he's done what he's supposed to do. And the things that I said I think he'll bring to the table, he has been. Like, he's bringing the experience, the good. While I'll say what had dropped in the past couple games is his red zones. When we've been in the red zone, we haven't been scoring as much touchdowns, and that's a big part of why I wanted him to be our quarterback. I thought, and it proved to be true up to the last couple of games. We were very good in the red zone, one on top, right? When that starts falling off, you're starting to lose your leverage here. Like, I'm cool with riding out with you, right? If you're able to, with your wrist and everything. But after this year, it's like, we got to let this experiment go. We got to, I was totally on board today, y'all. My bad, I'm talking a lot.
I'm chilling.
If we would have lost to the Bengals today, I was in full let's rebuild mode. Like, we're 5-5.
Yeah.
Ravens are on our ass. Let's rebuild. Let's rebuild. We got all these picks for next year. Let's rebuild.
Yeah.
But since we won today, obviously I'm gonna be the fan that's, let's do it. We can still do it. We can still contend. It just feels very similar to every other year, honestly. But
that's the thing, man. It's not that I don't think AR is a good quarterback anymore. It's just like he said, everything has to be in a certain position for him. He can make stuff happen, but it's not going to be something that's over the top. Like, it's just, man, this is the thing. We're in the AFC. I mean, the NFC has these guys too. We're in the AFC right now. I know you can't make guys in the lab, but bro, we have Josh Allen. When you put on the TV, 4 touchdowns, 1 run, and 3 thrown. Same thing with Lamar. Same thing with your boy Mahomes over there. Same thing with a lot of these other dudes in the AFC. I don't even have to say their names. And it's like, and I'm not trying to just compare them to the 3-head monster. Like, I'm talking like some of these average quarterbacks are still doing things. Yeah, and Herbert, I'd say he actually could be one of the best. He is one of the best in the league in terms of talent. But yes, like guys that people don't even look at in that light because they're, it almost seems natural, like normal right now in the league to be a quarterback doing crazy stuff all over the field. And we don't have that. That's what needs to change about us is in my opinion, we need to get rid of the coaches. But that's because I want a young guy. I know Pickett wasn't really good as much as I wanted him to be. But I want a young guy to come in and be trusted to be that guy, kind of like Daboll did with Dar, even though, Daboll's about to be Penn State's coach from what I heard. Could have changed. But either way, all I'm getting at is we need a culture change. And we almost had it in a way, but we didn't let it happen. Like, as much as we're sitting here talking about how offense just doesn't feel like, well, both sides definitely don't. But with Pickens and Pickett, as much as Pickett wasn't that guy, there was like a fresh, like what you talk about with Mason, like a fresh, okay, this could work, that could work. And right now we have a great running game. If we could get a dang RPO quarterback that can make good throws, we would be unstoppable, in my opinion.
There's a name.
Because our line's playing good, too.
That's going to come out after, not
Kyle
this year,
Murray.
but next year. No.
All right, I'm done.
Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed. Yeah, just do your homework on him. If you don't know about him, do your homework on him. That's the guy I'm aiming for the next draft. Hopefully we can find a way to get him because he's literally Lamar Jackson but with arm. But
Lamar got an arm too now.
Yeah, I guess so. But he's more polished than what Lamar was as a quarterback.
Yeah, coming out.
So I definitely want to see a guy. But in the same breath, I think Will Howard could be that guy. You look at his physical tools, his running capabilities. Bro, what are we like? How do we not just give someone that?
Still, you hear that Gruden's interview with 93.7 again? No, I'm putting my trust in him still. He's like, honestly, I don't see how they're letting him sit there. And he said, with all respect to A-Rod and stuff, he said, I think that guy's going to be a hell of a quarterback in the league. And John Gruden,
I do too.
John Gruden knows his stuff.
His demeanor. Listen, there's certain things you don't got to look at. It's the demeanor of knowing, right? And it's the you don't win by accident. If that makes sense. He was. I'm not sure. I don't think they came out with nothing official about that yet. But what I'll say about Will Howard, he took a Kansas State team who was not relevant at all before he got there, and he took them to the Big 12 championship and almost to the playoffs. Then he transfers to Ohio State, who's Ohio State, right? But even with the great quarterbacks they've had, weren't able to win national championships. He was able to do that. Like at some point, man. there's a nature of competitiveness that's there, and there's enough physical tools that's there to where it's like, listen, I don't know where their head's at with it, right? You got when you say A-Rod, that's who you're gonna start, right? But at what point with Mason are you like, man, we got to see what Will could do?
Yeah. And A-Rod's always been a talent guy to me too. I say he's the best quarterback ever in terms of talent, right? He's not a Brady. He's not a mindset crazy person. Yes, he's a mindset crazy person when it comes to how good he has gotten. But I mean, if he wasn't somewhat chill or just I guess a dickhead in some ways, excuse my language, he would have more Super Bowls, and that's a different conversation. And I only say that because he had wide receiver versatility at that position, and he had so many MVP trophies. And that could end up being Lamar type of guy or Josh Allen, like no Super Bowls to show or one, whatever. But all I'm getting at here is Will Howard, if we're going to keep Tomlin or this style of coach, Will Howard's what we need. Now, I could bite my tongue very hardly if he ends up not playing well. But if he were to play well, his emotion and all that he brings to the game is what we need, because Tomlin could try to be conservative on 4th and 2, 4th and 3. And I can see right now Will Howard on the screen, number 18, or whatever he is, yelling at the top of his lungs. Couldn't you, like, that guy that would be like, nah, we're going.
Yeah, no doubt.
We need that. We need a pushback, bro.
I don't want to say Big Ben because he was a previous Steelers quarterback or not, but just in terms of, like, his leadership.
He got a backbone,
too. Backbone, someone that's going to tell you how he feels, whatever the case. And back to Dak's point about A-Rod, that's true. A-Rod was a guy who, when he got out the pocket, he could procreate and do whatever he wanted to do. And he was that type of quarterback. So when you lose those parts to your game, the reason why Tom Brady was able to win Super Bowls at 41 was because he always was comfortable in the pocket. You know what I mean? And he always knew what was going on before the play was even snapped. So those things don't leave you at any age. Tom Brady could probably come back and still be an elite quarterback at the age he is now, just because those things don't leave. He was so comfortable in the pocket. He knew how to navigate in the pocket. He was a guy who knew how to step up, step over, all that stuff in the pocket. But he was someone, you would have to literally force this man, 3 guys coming out the middle for him to try to take off on the outside and create something. So, of course, that type of style of quarterback is going to be able to last longer, right? But same with Joe Flacco. You've never seen Joe Flacco do too much outside the pocket. So he's still, I'm not going to say elite, but he's still a very good quarterback at the age he is, because he never had to. But with A-Rod, when that first initial read's not there, he's looking to procreate, get out the pocket, and run the throw type. You know what I mean? And when you don't have that no more, yes, you're losing a certain dimension to your game. And it's like, it's still amazing to see A-Rod in the Steelers jersey. It still hasn't truly hit me until probably he retires or we move on from him, where I'm like, oh man, we really had A-Rod. But
that's what I was gonna say.
That doesn't mean that
someone's gonna be like Mike Vick, bro. Like, even though he wasn't a starter, it's like I don't care if it's as much as Aaron actually has. Like I said, I think he's the best quarterback ever in terms of talent, like arm talent, I should say. Because if I'm speaking on what I really like nowadays, is what the league likes. I like a mobile guy. Not that he wasn't able to create stuff back in the day, but I don't want to. Man, I can't believe he played for the Steelers. I would rather Mason Rudolph playing the same, getting us 10-7, and that's what I'm about to get into right quick, because I ain't going to take too much longer. You had anything to say? My bad.
No, go ahead, bro.
All right. Speaking of what we need, I'm going to be the fan, and this is, I'm basically almost covering for why we're talking about the quarterback position so much, hence it's very important. But other than that, man, it's like, okay, we both are seeing exactly, I think we're both on the same wavelength. Pretty much we're seeing repeat seasons, okay? It gets to a point, which I already was at that point years ago, where it's tiring. You're over it. And what I'm going to get at here is the run game right now. Like he said at the beginning, I fully agree. Our running back room, keep that as long as you can. Until these dudes tell you their neck, back, everything hurting. Keep that. That is going to look great, mostly when KJ comes along, okay? Draft some more talent with your draft picks at O-line. Allow for competition to be there every year. I don't care if Broderick deserves it in your head because he's been here, he's playing better. Give him a damn workout. Make somebody fight for that position. I think a guy like Frazier is definitely going to keep his place. Falutanu needs somebody stepping on the gas behind him, but I think he'll be a starter. We need more talent to O-line, even though I do think they're playing exceptionally well when it comes to the run game. But right now our passing game sucks. So when I say that, our pass blocking sucks. Not fully, but when I say that, we need new coaches at O-line. So it sucks that a lot of this will come back to coaching. But we're just going to be honest. I think we need a new head. I think we need a new O-line coach. We got to get a young quarterback in here. And I think with where you're set up right now with all these new draft picks, what DG said the other day, although, of course, we're going to end up having huge crushes on quarterbacks. I like Lamarius Sellers. I think his name is the first one. I know it's Sellers. He likes who he just mentioned. You know, we're going to get crushes because it's quarterback position. That's how it is. Every year you're going, oh, dang, like this guy could be that guy. No. Use your draft picks to get other positions. Let Will Howard go. My bad.
Go ahead. No, I'm very high on. I don't want to sound very high. I'm not. Sellers, he's in the SEC. I watch my favorite teams in the SEC. I watch a lot of him play football, bro. He's physically, he's one of those dudes like he will make some plays and you're like, man, this is why we got him. But he's still not polished as a thrower, and he's still not all the way there when it comes to like reading defenses and being just a polished guy in the passing game. And that's why I think we need someone that's explosive in the pass game. And someone, what I want to say is like, I feel like Lenore Sellers is almost like a Will Howard, definitely more athletic, more burst to him. But he's like a Will Howard that's like, it's like the pipe dream of what he could be. But he's not there. He's not there yet. He's not there yet at all. And I think we're at that time. I don't know if we could be playing around with projects right now. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's the thing that I want to keep Will because I want to say get everything
Will's
better
more
around
polished
him.
to me when it
but
comes
I'm scared. Well, yeah, and I look at him in that light and just like, you know, Gruden and people talk about him, I'm like, man, like this guy is a little secret weapon X in our little drawer right now. And then it's like the thing that turns me off is he did get drafted in the 6th round. Like today, Shador came in the game. I ain't gonna blame him for how he played because that offensive line was atrocious. But I was hyped for him. I really am a Shador fan. But you get a certain level of dang, he really is a 6th round pick. Maybe that's why this looks like that.
I would be like, okay, and I agree.
I get worried about that round.
I do.
Not at any other position than quarterback.
I do sometimes when it just depends, right? Because I feel like last year's draft class, you had 3 teams that needed a quarterback. So once those 3 teams got their quarterbacks, that's why that's why Shador fell so much because no one else needed a quarterback. So why would you spend anything under a 5th round, 6th round pick for those guys? So once those 3 teams, I feel like it was the Giants, it was the Giants and Tennessee Titans and the Browns. Once they all 3 picked up their quarterbacks, that's when I feel like, okay, yeah, I can see why teams are going to keep passing and why you would want to get someone like Will Howard or someone in a later round. I feel like if there was more teams that needed a quarterback, they would have been more pressed because his original ranking was a 3rd round quarterback pick before the draft started. So I think that had something to do with it. But you know what? I think, like I said before, at some point you gotta look at the body of work, right? You gotta Shador, as talented as he is, he wasn't a winner when it came to like. I don't want to say he wasn't a winner because he was. He actually changed Colorado's program for the better, and when he was at Jackson State, he won. But what I mean by that is he's not proven to win on a national level. I'd rather take the guy that's proven to win. Big part of the reason why you're winning. And I just think that's who Will Howard was. Like, as much as, you had Jeremiah Smith, you have Cornell Tate, you got all them good receivers at O State, there was a different element that he brought there, a different element of leadership, different element of athletic ability at the quarterback position, quarterback run games. He fit Ohio State perfect because they're like a pro spread type of, a power spread type of team. So when you got a mobile quarterback, that's who we are. We want to be a power type of team, right? He's that guy. And it makes me mad. It makes me mad when we have putting Connor Hayward to snap and do. Bro, you got Will Howard. This man is 6'5", 200 plus pounds. Let him get the feel of being. Let him feel a part. You know what I mean? Okay, I get it. It's his first game technically back from off IR, so you couldn't use him before then. But use him. Make him feel like Jordan Love. That's probably why he settled in better than most quarterbacks because
he's packaged. Right?
He was packaged the whole time Aaron was there. As much as Aaron probably didn't like that, as much as it probably hurt his pride, Green Bay was like, listen, this is our future guy. We're going to make sure we get him in here and let him feel comfortable. I'm at that point now where I wouldn't be mad if we was like, hey, let's start Will Howard. I wouldn't be mad at it because, it's a why not situation.
Why not? Mason's going to give you pretty much the same thing Aaron did. It just the fluidity might look better because of the situational, like, okay, we're calling different plays for Mason, so it is going to be a little bit more pop passes,
My thing is, you could do what you want to do more with a guy like Will Howard. Like, there's just so much. He opens up your offense 10 times more than what Aaron or Mason, just because they're not mobile at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, I love Mason, right? Mason looks fresher back there. He looks more decisive. I don't want to say more decisive than Aaron, but he just looks more like
he's like a robot,
more youthful. You know what I mean? And,
well, of course, that too.
But just the way he's moving in the pocket and everything. With A-Rod, it's like having a car that has a messed up whatever on it, and you know it's gonna blow soon. You know what I mean? It's like,
it might be a Ferrari, but that
yeah. You know
and also with A-Rod, not even just to blame it. I feel like the way he plays the game. No, I'm talking about how he blames people. Yeah. The way he plays the game is almost like he's ready to be that Karen that's like, you didn't do this on this play. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. I want a guy that's going to take it all on the chin. I know for a fact, Will Howard, he could lose a game because 4 receivers dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone, and he's going to say, I got to play better. That's on me. I love that, bro. You need that at quarterback so badly in this league.
There's a coolness to him. There's something about Will Howard deep down that I feel that I know it's not. That sounds crazy, but I don't feel that way for no reason.
I didn't feel like this about Pickett, and he had time. I ain't gonna lie. The first game he got in against the Jets, he ran that touchdown. The fan of me, of course.
No, there's things that I liked about Pickett, right? But there were still.
He's a tough guy. That's the thing about Pickett. Pickett, I like. He's tough as shit.
But yeah, like I said, Will Howard proved that at 2 different schools, man, and I think that speaks volumes. And when you're able to transfer to a school where you haven't been there, you've been at a different school the past, 3-4 years, whatever it was, right? And then you transfer to a school and you win the locker room over that fast in just a spring camp and then a fall camp, and then you take those same guys and go win a national championship. There's something to say about you as a quarterback, right?
He's a guy.
Yeah, so it's like, I like Will Howard. I think if you build around Will Howard, he could be an animal because listen. Yeah. I would take him right now over Daniel Jones, and you see what happens when you can manufacture a quarterback in a good situation, like a good run game, whatever the case. Daniel Jones, which I think I did say he's not mobile. Daniel Jones is mobile. He's mobile enough.
He's like Mason Rudolph mobile.
Yeah, but better.
Awkward, but fast. Yeah, he's faster than Mason.
Like Daniel Jones, when he gets going. But it's like, it's not something that you game plan for. You don't game plan for his legs, but it's something that could hurt a team if you're not wary of it, right? Yeah. But Will Howard, you gotta account for that. If you play the Steelers, you're gonna have to account for a guy like Will Howard's legs. Period. So
and I love
when you got a great running game, you got a Jalen Warren and a Gainwell back there, and now you got a quarterback that could potentially hurt you with his legs. That opens up everything. Your RPO.
Our OPA game would be crazy.
It opens up your quick passing game, the extension of the run game, because it's like the defense always has to freeze for a second because one, you guys stay in your left run integrity. Imagine you're a defense, you're playing against A-Rod right now, man. Honestly, like Anthony, you could just tee off on a guy like that. Not because he's not a good quarterback, but because the mobility is not there, man. So when you're able to tee off on someone like that, you're able to tee off. When you can't run a quarterback draw or something quick to get you, just to get the defense from stop breathing on your neck, like
get a good rush and he's done.
The game becomes hard.
I mean, he's still gonna do his thing. His stats aren't gonna be butt awful. Mm-hmm. Last game ain't gonna be every game for him. But that's what I'm not looking forward to, man. I'm not looking forward to Russ games again, man. I'm not looking forward to being like this week.
You can't tell me you can't manufacture a Will Howard like a Jalen Hurts. My bad, I'm talking about.
No, you're good.
You can't tell me that we can't manufacture a Will Howard and make him into
a
guy like a Jalen Hurts, bro.
We could, but we can't because our coach is just lackluster.
And Arthur Smith got to go. I don't know how you feel about Arthur Smith. I think there's times he does good things, right? But it's not his mindset. At the end of the day, is going to always be his mindset. And I think we need a guy not with a West Coast spread type of mentality, but
no, we need a guy. I would rather. This is how
we need someone that wants to put up points and and wants to bear the weight of.
That's what I was saying about the Bills. You turn the game on, you see 44, and you're like, damn, when will that be me again? Le'Veon left how long ago? Yeah, AB's in jail.
Yeah, it's crazy how our offense peaked in 2016. Like, I don't think we talk about it enough. Like, the way our offense,
our last playoff win, bro.
Our offense was the standard.
You know how to win football games?
No, but I'm saying though that our offense is the reason why a lot of these NFL teams modernized their offense, bro, because of how modernized it was. Mm-hmm. So just
And we all hated. Everybody hated Todd Haley at the time.
Yeah,
but we didn't realize how good we had it.
Yeah,
because he was willing to take the damn risk.
My dad, I don't want to say he hated Todd Haley.
My dad.
There were times where my dad hated when he kept doing them screens all the time and shit. But it
seemed like everybody did that too. Maybe Tomlin likes him. But Todd Haley, Canada, all them boys.
But you know what? The thing with Todd Haley, you could tell he did it. He had purposes for why he did it. He did that to soften the D up. Hey, okay, you gonna have to guard us all over the field. Listen, when we had Le'Veon them, you had to guard us from sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, you had to guard every part of the field as a defense because we was going to utilize every part of the field. But when you got a coordinator who's only focused on working the sticks, working the boundary, and sometimes taking a shot with DK across the middle or sometimes doing something, listen, that's not going to win you games with the big dogs. And it's not going to let you win the games with the Bills, Kansas City, Baltimore when it comes down to it. Those type of teams, you want to compete year in and year out with them guys. Like nowadays when we beat Baltimore, it's because of some fluky activity. Back when we had Roethlisberger and that type of offense, we beat them because we was a better team. We was actually could keep up with you on offense, and we had a good enough defense. Nowadays, when we beat Baltimore, it's either because Lamar Jackson's injured or because we got 50 turnovers on some
or he plays a weird game.
So at some point, you do got to give credit to the team that's forced you to play that way. Yes, but in the same breath, would I feel comfortable putting my money on the Steelers against the Baltimore in the playoffs? No. So it's like
the day before, but that's it.
Even then,
the day before last year, I still didn't think we were going to win, to be honest, but I was delusional.
I didn't. There's always a what if. There's always a word the Steelers. There's always a, there's always that when you're a Steelers, because at the end of the day, we're capable of being anyone and we're capable of losing anyone. So you're going to go in there with the mindset of we can't do it, right? But I haven't truly felt we can do this type of thing. Even
I haven't been interested as much.
No,
when the game's on, I find myself actually missing plays, bro. I haven't done that in so long. I find myself being like, oh, hold up, what happened? And today was captivating. We had some good stuff going on. To talk about coaching, man, Arthur Smith, as much as I think people respect him, and I actually do think I like his mentality somewhat, although it's conservative. I like his mentality football-wise. I think he understands the game, but I think these new head coaches, not even these new offensive coordinators are really going for points, like he said. I would rather Mike McDaniels get fired from head coach and come be our OC. Dayball can come be the OC. Mm-hmm. Arthur Smith, you could be the intern, bro. I wouldn't be mad at Arthur Smith being a head coach that lets coordinators coordinate. I don't know how, people view that. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, when someone's dumb enough to hire Arthur Smith as a head coach, we'll get somebody different. At the end of the day, the reason I say I wouldn't mind him as a head coach, because it does seem like he's a cool, calm, collected, football addict type of guy, but... And I'm not saying that out of any knowledge. I don't know how he really is behind the scenes. I don't know what reputation or what relationship he's building with the organization. But I do like him. Make him our head coach. I don't care. But that's the thing. I'm starting to think head coaches aren't the biggest deal. It really comes down to your coordinators, bro. And the head coach, the reason I think Arthur Smith will be a good head coach for us, and this is a weird take, is because he does seem cool, calm, and collected enough to where he's not going to force his opinion all the time. He'll butt in. But I think he would let coordinators be this, and he would be in the middle trying to handle the day-to-day. Like, they need to handle the big stuff on those sides of the ball. He needs to handle the medium, stuff. And I feel like I don't know nothing about head coaching. I don't know nothing about the league head coaching. Definitely not. But what I do know is these teams that are flourishing have notable coordinators. Like, I know the names of their coordinators. People outside of the Steelers probably don't know who are like Terrell Austin is a no-name. He's an in-house hire. Arthur Smith, he's not fully a no-name because he had that couple good years of Derrick Henry. But other than that, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, Arthur Smith? Mm-hmm. Like, you think of Brian Kelly, right? Or what's his name? Not Brian Kelly. What's Brian Kelly? I'm so slow.
Brian Kelly's was the coach for LSU.
Yeah, but he's a coordinator, right? I'm thinking of somebody other Brian, whatever. Huh?
Lane Kiffin?
I don't know. Whatever, guys. I'm stupid. But what I'm getting at is there's some, you can name them off, and maybe I could right now, but for some reason my brain's going. But I know people know coordinators' names. Yeah, whatever. That's old school, though. Nah, like the current coordinators on like the top teams, like you could probably spit them off better than me, but like you got guys like
in the NFL type.
yeah, like I'm talking like you got like somebody like the Niners and the Rams and all these people, even though that's
like
mostly
Ben
head coach.
Johnson and dudes like that.
You got names. I don't remember knowing names, and I know you guys probably watching might be more informed than me on that side of things. I'm not really a coordinator.
I mean,
I don't know
coordinators,
coordinators,
bro. Like,
but we don't have any.
Oh, you're the AFC North. You gotta play physical football. Go look at the Bengals, bro. That's what I mean. Like the Bengals, they're in the AFC North, but their style. There's a reason why they're able to compete with not just AFC North teams, but the Chiefs. There's a reason why they're able to fade those teams when they're in the playoffs.
They can score
and beat the Bills. It's because they say, you know what? Yeah, we're in the AFC North, but let's get 2 studs at receiver. Mm-hmm. Let's get a guy at quarterback. Let's build around those 3 pieces, and we'll always have a top offense. It was the same way with the Steelers. We had Ben, we had Le'Veon Bell, we had AB, and we built around those guys. So you had Martavis Bryant, you had
Marcus Wheaton.
Yeah, you had guys that fell in place. People act like, oh, well, why is the Chiefs so crazy every year? It's because they have a system built in place there. It's not necessarily the personnel. They build the personnel that they want, right? You get fast, speedy guys, Xavier Worthy type of guys, because that's the type of system.
Yeah, Hollywood, that's my guy. I like Hollywood.
But you got that. But that's the type
Still
of system
got Juju
that you're
in
bringing.
your back pocket too.
Yeah, so those guys fall in place, right? They fall in place as decent receivers, right?
But you already got a system.
But you already got that system in place. But with
DK would be way better at a team right now that has a system. That's another opinion I have. I try to give him slack, and I'm like, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I did already say this for real, but this is kind of who DK always was, man.
Oh yeah.
He had one dominant season. I looked at it. He had, I think it was like a 1,400-yard season or 1,600. I can't remember what it was.
You think it's his body that make us think different?
That's exactly what it is. It's
like we look at him, we're
it's
like,
his imagery. You're like, man, this man should be dominating, and it's his physical tools, it's his speed at his size. A man shouldn't be moving like that at that size, right? Mm-hmm. And those are the things you hold on to. But when it comes down to it, that's kind of who he always was a flash receiver, make big plays. You're going to see him on your timeline because he does something crazy. You're going to see him on your timeline because he's bullying and getting into it with another D-back. You're going to see those things on him, right? And you're going to think that's. But he never was a complete receiver. He never was a great route runner. He never was the best with his hands.
He better be crazy
but
strong
you know what?
safety middle linebacker.
Yeah, but you know what? He's still good enough to where if you get some guys around him, he's going to flourish better, right?
That's kind of what I mean.
But
not just a system.
Yeah, nah. But like that comes with Yeah. But it's that's why I say it's time to move on from A-Rod, because listen, we've proven it doesn't matter who the hell. Duck Hodges can be our quarterback. We're still going to win some games. That's just who we are, right? Bro. So at some point, you got to let your younger guys develop.
7.
Yeah, not even.
And then
Russ
came in and went 10 and 7.
Like even that situation, we didn't handle it right.
Nah. We should have gave him one more year.
Yeah. Well, I'll say Will Howard. Like, man, that's a guy. Let him do him now. Let him get comfortable now.
It's really hard right now with Aaron, and then
I get it. It's hard, right? But sometimes you gotta make hard decisions.
Plugs,
Guess what? We got lucky that Tommy Maddox got injured, and we had to plug in Ben there, or we might have not ever known that we had a franchise quarterback there, because we probably would have kept playing Tommy Maddox.
I ain't gonna lie. First round 11 pick, they would have eventually had to. But you're exactly right.
But you know, that's what I mean, though. But that's confidence of him coming in and doing what he did that rookie season. You don't know if he would have had that same confidence sitting behind someone the whole year. My point is, you gotta let the people of your future know that they're the future. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you gotta let people get comfortable in being under them lights. I just think Will Howard, he's freshly. I get it. I understand it. Okay, but you're telling me, give it a fair shake. Don't just Mason Rudolph. He's been there. He's done that. This is the guy. If you truly deep down see something that Will Howard could bring to the table, why would you not use him? That's what I want to see, honestly. Right?
In reality, if we're talking about, which I'm going to be done, to be honest, I don't really have too much to say.
Not me.
But in reality, I am going to say, right now, you get on FanDuel next week, depending on Aaron's condition, them bet slips are going to be, that price is going to be going way down on, Will Howard might have one pass completion this game. It's very possible if Aaron stays out for a while. Mostly a vet like that, you don't want to just rush back all the time, even though it is late in the season, kind of is getting there. So maybe you would, but You know, it could happen very soon. Mason could have a horrible game, and they might say, you know what, go out there. Where Mason could get a little roughed up, which he's known to be. He's injury prone in a way, in my opinion. When he's been the backup as long as I can remember, in terms of like
having concussions and
he gets banged up, bro. As long as I didn't mean he's been the backup as long as I can remember. As long as I can remember, when he is the backup, I've seen him get injured more than a lot of starters. That's not to come at his toughness. That's just timely stuff that happens to him. So right now, I mean, that's the only thing I'm gonna say is Will Howard getting in is not far from possible right now. So
it might be.
It's kind of exciting to add a different element to the game. It's not that I'm excited to possibly see Rudolph do bad or get injured, but it's exciting to possibly see a guy like that come in. The only thing that sucks is when you unravel the bag or whatever, the present that you think's there. And then, with our schematics and everything, the way we approach the game, we'd probably conservatively use them, and we'd be we would just be unimpressed, really, probably, because they would use them.
I feel like we play conservative anyway, so just call the
true.
same stuff that you're calling and let
See
him
what
operate
happens.
a little bit more. What really
They probably won't even throw the middle of the field at all though with them. They probably be telling them.
You're probably right, but that again, that's our call. That's a bad.
Even worse, and that's what happened to Kenny too. As much as I've heard that he wasn't the best, period. I will say, like, I think he could have been a lot better than he was here. Like, I know he's been benched, and each place he goes, he's not the starter. So there's something there, something not there, I should say. But we definitely were very conservative with him. But even with Kenny, man, I had more. It sounds crazy. I was more excited because he was getting us those weird like game winners. Mm-hmm. Hey, we were just a team that felt like a breath of fresh air. I'd rather be a 5-10 or 5-11 now. 5 and however many damn games. I'd rather be a 5-win team with a breath of fresh air like the Giants than a 10-win team with the same old dusty cloud of mediocrity. And that's the thing. Mediocrity is kind of what we've became as an organization. That's not a secret. And that's what I see at a lot of our positions as well. I mean, right now, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers is mediocrity. He's not going to give you something where you go, whoa. He's so good, though. He's so talented that there's going to be plays where you're like, not too many people can do that. But there's just so much mediocrity we live within right now. Our defense isn't even mediocre. I mean,
I'll say about A-Rod is
worse.
You can't stop doing the things that made you look good. Like once you start missing throws and stuff like that, which he missed DK again today, early in the game. Our offense was really stalled out with him in there, honestly. And I do think our defense played better when Mason got in there, and that's a testament to what helped him. And we got 2 defensive touchdowns in the second half, so things look a little bit better, Mason Rudolph-wise. But I do think our offense was flowing a little bit better. I don't know. Yeah, like you said,
just not optimistic.
At some point, it gets tiring to watch. That's where I'm at with it. Like it's like okay,
we won today, but I'm not optimistic.
There is something. There's like okay, there is something in the back of my head that's like, oh, A-Rod might throw for 4 TDs a day, maybe.
Yeah, he's a facilitator, like a field general. Like he still does have that to him, but it's not like a general that's about to like.
No, honestly, I think this is.
He's doing just enough.
We can both agree. Like I think we would be in the same position if we had Joe Flacco. I think we'd be in the same position if we had Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
I think we'd be in the same position.
That's why
we had Jameis Winston. Like honestly, it's like we have the system, the type of system. And I'll be real. I'm being real. Like I'm pretty sure Jameis just won today, bro.
No, I love him.
Or did they? No, they lost to the Packers, but it was a good game.
He's the best. But he's just not.
No, he's.
I wanted him a few years ago when before we got Pickett. I wanted Jameis really bad.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who we have because the way our defense is opportunistic, there is going to be a game where we have 5 turnovers multiple times throughout the season, and you're going to be like, dang, well, we got it done.
Probably would be the same because he would throw a pick and then our defense would get hyped up to get the ball back.
Yeah, no, it would be the same. I promise.
Jameis would throw so many picks too.
No, he probably would,
but he would throw some good tutties too.
In the same breath, he did that with the Browns last year, and the Browns isn't. That's a good example because they got good pieces around them, right? But it's like, he got them to win some games. Yeah, he lost some, but when you have the Steelers, you'll break even or you'll go above 500. But we could do that with anyone. That's my point. It's like, what's A-Rod really giving us that's putting us at an elite level? I don't see nothing that he's giving us that's putting us at an elite level. I think we're screwing by. We're beating We beat our two best ones.
He's
The
41
Patriots
too. Turns 42 soon. So.
Right, but we knew that.
But
so
I know.
What did you think? What did we honestly think was gonna? What did I think? Because I was one of those guys. Well, we have Russell. Obviously, we're gonna be better if we have A-Rod. All right, I was that guy. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't.
I was iffy on him at first, but as of late, I've been a little too complimentary.
It's the same thing. I mean, yeah, he's giving us more touchdowns than what Russ did. He's giving us more yards. He's giving us more. But it's like.
Was it crazy? I was more excited when we had Russ at certain points. I feel like I had more of like because he not more excited. I was more pissed at the end
for Russ to go.
No, me too. I'm talking about in that beginning. His peak was better than what Aaron Rodgers' mediocrity
That's
is right
being
now.
a Steelers fan,
yeah.
bro.
I'm just saying when that ball went up there.
When we always get something new, it's always a breath of fresh air.
But I'm tired of it.
Seeing A-Rod on the field for the first time as a Steeler was a breath of fresh air to me. It felt good. I'm like, oh, okay.
I still feel more comfortable with him than
But
like
you know what?
After even more than Mason.
Yeah.
I would rather have 12 in
after
because
a while you're like, okay, all right, next project, cool. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I was just about to compare this to.
Okay, yeah, we're being bad teams again. We're losing to the good ones. Cool. Who's next? You know what I mean? Like that's where I feel like now maybe if A-Rod would have beat who's a team, for example. I don't even want to say the Patriots because the Patriots is a team that's they're good this year. They're 9-2 this year, but they're 9-2 this year. That's what I'm gonna say. Mm-hmm. And if we can't prove to beat the Bills of the world, same with the Colts. Yeah, this Colts is 7-2 when we play them, but at the end of the day, it's the Colts, right? And so once we beat a team that's been established, a Kansas City,
even
Buffalo
if we do
Bills,
that, it's like
if we go and beat Buffalo at home, and we go in there and we put up a game, or we beat Detroit, I will feel great about us going into the playoffs. I would. Everything I'm telling you right now, I will walk back and I will tell you we're contenders because. If you could prove that you could go into the Detroit and beat them, and you could prove that you could beat a Bills team or compete, screw beating. If we could go in there and look good and play complementary football on both sides, and I go out of that game, I'm like, hey man, we look good. You know what I mean? I will feel better as being a 7-7 team at the end of the year, right? But if we can't do that, bro, what are we doing here? That's where it gets at. So I mean, that's all I got, y'all.
I'm done after this one few statements too. I agree.
Go ahead, bro.
You know when you see somebody like looking for tools in a movie, you ever seen like the animated? They keep throwing stuff up in the air. We're doing that at quarterback, and it's annoying us. You know, we feel like the Browns a little bit. But what I will say is, I'm tired of having quarterback off seasons. You guys need to get your NFL minds together and make a damn decision, and not just a temporary one. Go with it. Let Will Howard have it. Or put your trust in a rookie and just let it go for however many years until it looks damn good, and make sure you're the reason it looks good too. Don't just give up on a dude. Because I am tired of quarterback offseason, but that is what we're about to enter. We are about to enter another quarterback offseason where we don't know who's starting. Aaron might come back. That's not that exciting sounding. Mason might be our starter. That's definitely not too exciting sounding as much as I like him and what he's become as a backup in the league.
It's not
Will
fair.
Howard even starting.
It's not fair.
That's never going to be what they say when they come out. But that's the thing. We're going to be in a state of confusion when it comes to the quarterback position.
100%.
And that is why we're not sticking it out properly.
100%. I was literally, I probably wasn't going to word it the same way, but my attention was going to be the same exact. And at what point are you going to look at, okay, right, you're bringing in all these quarterbacks, right? And I'm pretty much going to say everything he just said, just in a different way. But you're bringing in these quarterbacks, right? They're all breaking even. They're all beating the bad teams, losing to the good teams, going to the playoffs and losing, right? At what point are we going to give the fair shake to the man that steps in and probably does something similar? Kenny Pickett, for example, came in there. Yeah, we didn't go to the playoffs, but we went in there and then we strung off some games and we got our winning record. Then we came in the next season and started off 6-2 with him. Then he gets injured, and we never signed him back. So what I'm gonna say about that is, at what point are you gonna be like? At what point all you're gonna do is exactly cause confusion with not just the player but the fan base. The fan base ain't gonna know what's a good quarterback or a bad quarterback because we've seen A-Rod do great things. We've seen Russell Wilson do great things. We've seen Kenny Pickett do good things, and we all seen him do bad things. So what standard are we gonna hold the guy that actually has it inside? But say we get a guy and he comes out the first night, a hot draft, whoever, and he stinks it up. Are we gonna be patient enough with him to be like, yeah, no, regardless, this is the guy. We see it. At what point are you gonna let a guy stick around? So that's what I don't like about these situations we keep putting ourselves in. That quarterback is it's rinse, wash, and repeat, bro. Like literally, bro, we're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Is that not insanity?
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you're doing the same thing year in, year out, bro. I would rather, like you said, Giants. Look at their record. But you know what? Jackson Dart, guess what? He's 1 I think he's either 2 or he's either 1-3 or 2-3 as a starter, right? But you could still tell that's their franchise.
You can live in the moment and also look forward to the future rather than living in the moment, but also knowing that the moment is fading, you know, and that's life. But yeah,
that is what I'm scared about. I'm scared if we did play Will Howard and he lost some games, we're gonna write him off.
Completely. Oh yeah,
because he's
that's
a
what we would do, and
because
we have draft picks too. Conversation for it. And
I'll tell you what, we ain't getting our quarterback this year. I'm telling you, there's not a guy out there. Lenore Sellers, shout out to you, bro. There's a lot of people hiring you. It's not just that. I'm one of those guys, bro. I was
high on Will Howard last year. You remember how high I was on him?
Yeah, you was.
I thought he was gonna be a third rounder at least.
But you know what? With that situation, Lenore's, you go to the right team, you could be dangerous, right? But a team that's willing to be patient with you, because you're not there. He's not there. You're not there as a passer, and that's not disrespect to you. Not that you're not capable. I watched you make some great throws. Even last game, you made some great throws.
You're gonna be like Milroe kinda in terms of how he gets drafted.
Yeah, no, literally. That's literally.
Which I wanted Milroe too.
I think he's a little bit more polished of a passer than Milroe. It's just like reading the defenses, and
I more or less mean that they're gonna draft you for your athleticism and your potential rather than what you offer right now. Yeah, like Milroe's kind of like, oh shit, he could end up being very
if we drafted Lenore Sellers, I wouldn't expect to win right away because there's a lot of work there to be done. But I want someone that, I mean, we got enough talent around to where whoever we draft, we want us to win. Ole Miss is quarterback, bro. Ole Miss quarterback. I don't know if you ain't watching on them, but Trinidad Chambliss.
I heard the name maybe.
He's a dude that came from D2 in Lane Kiffin's offense now, and he looks amazing. And I guarantee you, there's gonna be a lot of teams that pass on him because he was a D2 quarterback that transferred to D1, but he's so polished as a thrower, so polished as a quarterback. That's a guy. That's the only guy I could look at that's going to come out of this class. I'm like, you know, if he falls to the third, we should probably grab him because he's that polished of a quarterback. Will we do it? Probably not. Probably not because we don't. I don't know, man. We're just so frustrated, man. That's all I got. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it on this note since this is like a quarterback episode. I'll probably honestly like name this something to do with quarterbacks, like the future of the quarterback position, whatever. You feel me? Because we have been talking about it. What I will say is a quarterback, as cliche as it is the heartbeat of your team. And you can't establish a proper, circadian rhythm. Is that something? No, I don't know. You can't establish a proper heartbeat of a team if you keep throwing that heart out and trying to, replace it each time. What we need is a steady guy there that players buy into because you can't, I'm not trying to be scientific, but when you don't have the powerhouse, the nucleus of a cell, of a structure, anything, when you don't have something in the middle holding it together, then it's not going to play out. And that's what's happening. We keep going from quarterback to quarterback. We need a guy that we can look at every day and say, that's my guy through thick and thin. And that's how the players feel. I know they do, because as a defensive person in that locker room, which that was never me.
That's what we never had to deal with.
You have to look and say, I'm going to play for that guy. That guy, that guy, and with Ben, I don't like Ben, but people still played for him because they knew he was going to come out and
that was, at the end of the day,
you don't have to be the nicest guy.
I remember a drill video
there every day
where there was backup quarterbacks actually going through the drill and Big Ben was just hitting the ball in the air with his pad. That was the type of comfortability we had at quarterback back then.
Except he ended up throwing the triple coverage and throwing quarterback.
Listen, no doubt, but at the end of the day, you went to every year and you knew who your quarterback was and he was comfortable. That's what
we need to trust someone that's young and go for it. Kenny, honestly, we should have trusted him for longer and then just let his contract go up, trade him, or no, let his contract go up, let him walk, and then talk about another quarterback situation. But what I really need, talent, Jalen Hurts is a good example. He's very talented, but at the same time, he's not the best at everything. Of course, he has a great team around him, but he's still
They
their
built
guy, though. He's still their heartbeat.
He's their guy.
They look at him as their heartbeat. They know that without Jalen, it's not the same because he's gonna come and
he brings a different,
get that energy out of you.
What he
bro.
brings, and when you
AJ Brown might not
when you
fuck
build
with
your when you build your team around that though, right? When you build your team around that, becomes. I mean, Jalen Hurts is a part of their system. If you throw a different quarterback in that system, it wouldn't look the same because a lot of what they do relies on Jalen's legs and what his skill sets brings. But that's my thing. We got that. We got Will Howard. Listen, we know he runs the ball good. He runs the ball. He's an above average runner as a quarterback. He's 6'5", not the best thrower, but a capable thrower.
Yeah,
bruv. Listen, within these next couple of weeks, we got to get him in there. That's our guy. Listen, that's our guy. There's not a great quarterback coming in this year draft. We got all these draft picks. Let him be our guy. Draft around him. Get some. State, they got another receiver coming out. Cornell Tate. Grab him.
Get a high
Grab
receiver.
him. It's not hard. If you need a receiver, LSU, Ohio State. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
That's where you go to grab your receivers.
Yeah.
Grab one. We passed up on one last year. We passed up on Emeka Ibuka. And now look at him.
Get the trenches still. Get some receivers.
Now look at him.
Just draft high. I don't care. Honestly, as much as we're better at playing people outside
Pass on
of
Brian
position,
Thomas Jr.
Draft high, like how last year we saw Scatterboo and Jackson Dart. Draft high. Just get guys that you know are going to change the culture and come in and be dogs. But my last words of this podcast.
Hold on. Before you say your last word, our evaluation
sucks.
It's terrible. I mean, listen, we no disrespect, Caleb Johnson. I think you're playing better. But we passed on him for Scatterboo. We passed on Brian Thomas Jr. the year before. And this year, we passed on Emeka Ibuka. Those three guys right there, just them three names.
Ibuka was a fold, man.
Yeah, just those three names.
I'm happy for Baker, though.
Them three names right there, bro. We're at our organization is in different. We got to get better at evaluating. I know Omar is known for dropping his nuts and making bold trades and stuff, but that's not going to cut it, bro. We need you to actually do good in the draft. Like your draft, your what's called history is not bad. Your free agency and all that stuff, that's where you make your rep at. But bro, in the draft, bro, you're drawing blanks, bro. That's it. That's
my last words of the podcast. I kind of support that, and it's kind of controversial, but I'm gonna say it. I don't know how old he is. Honestly, outside of football, I probably wouldn't agree with him on a lot of things. But these are my final words. John Gruden for head coach.
I'm not against that.
Peace. That's it.